Let's talk about why we're here.
Simply put, our country is suffering. The brutality of George Floyd's death has galvanized all of us.
But when it comes down to it, it takes tragedies like this to make us understand that you don't like a black man with a knee on his neck the same way we don't like it.
No one should have to cry for their mother. No one should have to cry, I can't breathe. No one should have to endure such pain and agony. No one in America, in the United States, should ever have to endure that.
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many others. Our hearts are broken, but we will not be bowed.
What we cannot allow to happen in the midst of this horrific, tragic event that surrounds the murder of George Floyd, we cannot allow it to separate and divide us. But let this be a time of coming together, of saying, what can we do? How can we now, in the face of tragedy, build something triumphant?
Your silence in racist situations is permission for that person to continue.
We talked about the names, but the pain goes back so much further.
When you see a black American, remember the things that they carry. This cry, hurt people, did not just begin with the death of George Floyd. It has and always will be the story of each and every African American.
There are people who help us, who are our friends, who are part of our families, who are part of our everyday lives, that are suffering in silence every single day. If you are silent about it, if you condone the silence of that, I'm sorry, but you are the problem.
I graduated from Lake Forest High School in 2017. My graduating high school class was 1.1% African American.
I never truly realized that I was black until I moved to Lake Forest.
On numerous occasions, my dad and I were made aware that we didn't belong here. My dad, while walking our dog, mistaken for a dog walker, or me, while I was babysitting, asked where I was from when I was from across the street.
It had happened so many times, all I did was hop off of my bike, turn around, face the fence, and put my hands above my head. I was 18 years old. They got out of the car and like, oh, you've done this before. Oh yeah, no, I have, yeah. I know the routine. So this isn't my first rodeo. And we've been saying this for a long time. My lived experience has been, it's been very different than a lot of people. I'm 40 years old. I'm tired. I'm surprised I don't look 80.
The Chicago Tribune said in Lake County that you were 10 times more likely to be arrested for a marijuana charge. A low-level thing now, right? If you were African American.
African Americans make up 8% of the county population. They are the majority of people that are jailed. For how long are we going to be okay with this?
So I think that if we begin to have transparency in those places, our municipalities, the police departments, and our courts, we can begin to tackle the problem.
If you're black, you have to fight at the polls. You have to institution build. Divest from institutions built on the backs of slavery and supremacy, because there are many in this country. If you're not black, be an ally. Donating your time and resources to those doing the work in marginalized communities. Listen more than you talk. Show up in the best way you know how. Taking a stand on social media, even rallies like this one, isn't enough.
It's not enough to put a black box on your Instagram photo. It's not enough. We have to do more.
We really need true, authentic, sincere allies. People who do more than just get on Twitter, do more than just get on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to really sincerely help black lives to really matter, and if you really want to make impact, we need 4 things. We need you to think. We need your time. We need your talent. And 4th, we need treasure.
2020 is not the first time that these cries have been so desperate. when the cry screamed for Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile, Eric Garner, etc., 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 the cries were just as loud, the pleas for help were just as desperate. But did you listen then?
So racism is not a new thing. What I see as new is literally hundreds of people standing in Lake Forest, brought together by a youth movement.
They're calling for change because they realize their future is at stake.
We cannot bring back George Floyd. We cannot bring back Laquan McDonald. We cannot bring back Eric Garner. We cannot bring back Atiana Jefferson. We cannot go back centuries in time and undo the unjust government actions, the racism, the institutional racism. But we can change the future.
It starts here with us today. So I will ask all of you to say, repeat with me, I will be the change I seek.
We have to speak out. We have to stand up. We have to work for change. I will not be silent, and I will work with you to help make that change.
When you do go home today, I'd like every white person here to do your part and begin to educate yourselves. And for those who already have started, continue to do so.
I am asking you to walk into the discomfort and to not look away.
And tell your friends, tell those that say this problem doesn't involve them and that this place doesn't have a race issue.
After we leave here, go back to your families and talk to them about how they see others.
Don't stop after this nationwide movement dies down, and while you're at it, stay connected to the work and activism that young people in this community are attempting to do.
I want to thank everyone for being here. It was not easy for some of you to decide to come here.
I thank you all of you. I thank you all for coming out and showing up. We all have a lot of work to do, but I know that we have the stamina and the love and the light in our hearts to do so.
I've been listening to a whole lot of the comments today, and my heart is so filled.
The fact that we have so many voices and people here from all kinds of races is a beautiful, beautiful step. But this should not stop here, because this problem did start here. This problem will not stop here.
I want to see your actions show the love and kindness I know you possess. I want to hear your voice speaking up and saying no more.
Say it with me, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Say it louder, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
Say it one more time, Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.